Hey, Reflections. So, it's been a very interesting weekend, and I've been experiencing a lot and pulling a lot of information from these experiences, which is very interesting, and I wanted to share with you. So, today it's just going to be an observation. Maybe some techniques that have worked for me probably could work for you. And yeah, just basically observing my immediate reality and observing everyone around me, which has been really interesting and has really helped with my perspective and all the upgrades that are happening and the experiences that are coming with it, which has been changing my reality, which is really interesting. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of reading. You know, one thing that I encourage all of you to do is to research, you know, everything that you love, everything that's your passion, and also create, you know, be creative, because that's what drives us to experience the world and to have a wonderful life that gives us meaning. And yeah, so I spend pretty much most of my day in researching, which is amazing and awesome, and I'm very blessed. Certain things that I'm going through have been changing, and my life has been changing, obviously, so I have a lot of free time to make this my life and my life's purpose, really, and I am very thankful for that. Also, thank you, everyone that had expressed so much love and compassion and understanding towards me. That was really beautiful. And it really just made me see a whole entire perspective, and was the chain of events of some really interesting and weird things to happen, which is really cool. So again, thank you so much for all of your love, really, and it's really appreciated, because after all, I'm going through this and documenting my experiences and hopefully giving you information and insights into yourselves, you know, because this has happened, and I'm just, you know, just uploading all of these weird experiences. So after I uploaded that last video, it all started off with, and I've been having lucid dreams pretty much every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, which is interesting. I usually these days don't nap, but sometimes, you know, when I'm doing these meditations, they will go into a lucid state. So what I usually do for this when I'm in a meditation is sometimes I'll put some binaural beats on, and that will help lull me into that state of lucidity where, you know, I'm trying to stay conscious, but at the same time I could feel myself in stages going to sleep, which is really amazing and interesting to observe when it happens to you. So yeah, so I put on some binaural beats. Sometimes I'll do a mouth coning. Most of the time I will, just so I could be connected with my higher self and nature, the spirit of nature. And then I will go into the lucid state, and when I go into these lucid dreams, they always have a meaning, and they always show me something about myself or life in general, or, you know, just certain questions I have. So yeah, but right after I uploaded that video, I did a meditation, went into that lucid state, and then it started off with a hypnagogic hallucination. And this was a really interesting hypnagogic hallucination, actually. I couldn't really understand what it was, because I've been seeing mostly newer hypnagogic hallucinations that almost look like machinery, which is, again, interesting and something that I don't really understand, but it almost looked like not just like a computer, but it almost looks like a checkered board with black and white, which is really interesting. And I wanted to hold on to it, but as soon as I focused my attention on it, it just started to disappear, which, you know, kind of makes me annoyed. But after that, I had this lucid dream, and then I had a whole entire series of events, which was super interesting. And hopefully, let's see, this video doesn't get too long, so I can share it with you. So this lucid dream was about me and my friends. And the funny part is now that I'm not living where I used to, I'm around new people, and that makes this experience a lot more interesting to observe. So we can use all of these interactions and experiences as a creative force, basically, which I'm doing, and it's really interesting because you can observe those experiences and then have some type of alchemy, which is really, really interesting, and then it just comes to full circle, and you're just like, whoa. So I was observing my last video and my video before that, and talking about belief systems and stuff like this. Well, I also realized that I have been starting to identify with a certain model, which is science, physics, and that for me explains reality, in my opinion, the best way possible for me. And I realized that there are all types of models to identify with, but it's so funny because that's what I mean by everything coming full circle, and you're just observing everything. You're observing your thoughts, you're observing everything around you, and then it's called to your attention that once you break from these patterns, then you find what you can understand reality the best way possible, and then yeah, you identify, which is really interesting. So yeah, this dream, before I forget, this dream was really interesting. So it was about my friends, and a friend in particular that, you know, it was an experience that was not pleasant for the both of us, and we probably could have handled it better, the both of us, but, you know, it almost feels like we are connected, and of course we're connected. I mean, she's in my dreams. And it was about someone that I had met, you know, just a group of friends, and supposedly I got a phone call. And in this phone call, I heard that my friend had bought drugs from another friend, a friend that I met somewhere in Europe, and she had overdosed and died. And this was a friend that I had a falling out with, obviously, but recently we had reconnected and rekindled our relationship because obviously we both grew from that very negative experience. You know, we took that and we went within, and I can really see she has also changed quite a bit, but that's also because she had done DMT at her lowest point, just like myself. And it changed her, and, you know, she began to question, you know, and she began to change her views on life and become a better person. And, you know, that's what all of this pain brings, this change, which is really interesting. And that was what this dream was about. So I had felt pain once I heard that she had died, you know, and then I was again lucid and observing, you know, my thoughts at this time, and I knew I was in a dream. And it was a friend that we were at a festival together, you know. It was a very, like, a festival type of reality, almost like in this dream setting. And so I had a dream that she had died, and then I had a dream that I woke up, and it was me dreaming of her death. Now, death isn't necessarily a bad thing. That means transformation, which I've been learning more and more and more, because right before I had that death dream with the tarot and the devil and all that stuff, there was a lot of change in my life and in my perspective. Yeah, so I had a dream that I woke up in my dream. So I was dreaming in my dream, very Inception. And yeah, I woke up and I felt that I had a premonition of her death. And then I went back to sleep, and then I had a dream that she died again. And I was like, oh crap, I had a dream about this. I had a dream that she died, and she died. So then I called her, and I used my iPhone to call her. And I was looking at my iPhone, which is really interesting. And when I called her, a screen came, like a picture came up, and it was me in the middle, her, and then another friend. And this other friend, again, was from my childhood, and she had hurt me tremendously, and I probably hurt her too. But like, when we ended our relationship, it was in pain. And I realized at that moment, when I was looking at the picture of all of us friendly, you know, in the astral plane, we were all friends, or we are all friends in the astral plane, you know what I mean? We are all connected, and we were like best friends, all three of us, you know? So it didn't matter that we hurt each other or anything. We knew, and when I focused my attention to the picture, the reason why these friendships had come into my life and in their lives is to change us and to evolve our consciousness. And through that pain that we all had given each other, through came a lot of change. And that was so beautiful, you know, and all of that anger that was that I had against them was like lifted, because I remembered at that point that, wait a minute, I'm in a dream, and in 3D, in, you know, this earth, we're not really the best of friends, but that doesn't matter, because we're all here just to teach each other lessons about love. And yeah, that was a really beautiful experience. And this is how your dreams can change your perspective of these very negative situations. And that's alchemy again, and that's what I've been doing in my dream space. I've been having a lot of these dreams, which has been awesome and amazing, and I'm very grateful for. And I encourage you guys to basically, you know, take some time to do some lucid work, you know, take maybe an hour out of your day to meditate and do some work with lucid dreaming. And then I take another hour to do some creative work, you know what I mean? I could always do more, obviously we could always do more, but yeah, let's see. Oh, the experience. Let me see if I have time. Yeah, I have some time. So, I had a very interesting experience. When you're living with your intuition, it almost feels like everything is on purpose and divine, and everything is here to elevate your consciousness, really, and to create order out of chaos, which is also really interesting. And I can see how, you know, riding this in-between state of consciousness can take a toll on you or me, you know, and how just believing in yourself and believing in your intuition can really change that perspective once you observe that chaotic extreme in your head while it's happening. So it was, you know, and it seems like through every single experience that I have these days, I'm learning so much, not only about myself, but, you know, consciousness, compassion, humans, you know, all of this beautiful stuff that's been happening around me. And so I was on the train with a friend. We were going to visit someone, and you know, it's just really interesting how much you can pull, how much information you can pull from these experiences and from observing other people's perspectives, really, not just your own. And I got a phone call, and it was from a phone call, it was from a blocked number. It was in the in the subway. Like, how is anybody, like, how am I getting this reception? It was just, my brain was going all chaotic, and this was right before another upgrade. When this happens, you know, it's chaos, and then you go back to knowing that everything is divine, and everything is guiding you to your higher self and to higher consciousness. So I got that, and it kept on calling me and calling me and calling me, and it was just really long rings, and I was just like, you know, when you feel like you're in the Matrix and you're just like, this is scary, and you're just thinking about all the worst things, of course. And this was basically my brain going to the next level, which was really interesting. And I observed the fear. I observed the fear, and I said, you know what? If everything is divine and perfect, and everything is just guiding me to perfection and love and unity and just beauty and creativity and all this stuff, then why should I fear this call? And as soon as I picked it up, I felt like there was nobody on the end of the line. It just like went off, and I just felt all of this information, and just it took a lot of breathing work and meditation, but I got through it. And I was guided to look into a book that a reflection had recommended, and their name was Sheeplulls, and that made me laugh for like 5 or 10 minutes. Seriously, that's a great screen name. I just think it's so funny. And I started reading My Big Toe, My Big Picture Theory of Everything by Tom Campbell. And yeah, it just started all of this just like research. So yeah, I don't think the research ever ends and the learning ever ends. You know, I think that once we feel that we know everything, and you know, we're perfect, and you know, we're not using these experiences to create change within our perspective and reality, then we're not really growing, you know. So that's what I feel about my immediate experience. Yeah, so that was just very interesting, and I chose, you know, love. I chose not to be fearful of this experience, and to surrender and accept this experience, and that was huge, and it felt very psychedelic again. But yeah, and then I went to, you know, my friend's house, and again, just, you know, when you see people and all of their sadness and all of their trauma, and you just want to be good. You just want to be good and loving towards them, and show as much compassion, because you feel their pain, because you too once used to feel this way, and I feel a lot. So that's why I try to be as compassionate as possible, because there's, you know, there's some type of suffering going on there. And I also realize in my daily life that being the beacon of light, or being the light within the darkness, you know, you can be that light and change the perspectives around you. You know, when somebody's negative talking around you, you can show or spin a creative or a loving or a light view, you know, of something, and just to show compassion and to act, you know, as a light being, as, you know, a compassionate being. And hopefully that would shed a new perspective, and you can basically create with your own energy, you know, just so much love within a room. And I've been seeing that more often. The more I interact with other people, the more I realize how my very light and loving, compassionate perspective creates change in my immediate reality, which is, again, beautiful and awesome. And basically what we're here for, man. Like, we're here to love, and we're here to be understanding, and to, you know, just hear all perspectives, and yeah, open to receive in a loving heart, really. So that was a very interesting weekend. Let's see. It's about 20 minutes, so I think I'm gonna end it at that. I have so much more to say, but again, thank you guys so much for being here and witnessing this experience with me and giving me all this information and a lot of love and compassion, and that's again beautiful because this is a very interactive experience and we're all going through this together. Anyway, Reflections, I hope you're having an awesome day. Hey Reflections, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and check out my other videos.